What's up, guys? My name is Jamal. Today we're going to be doing another Just Talks episode. We're going to be interviewing Rondon from Fight Back.
Wait, hold on. Our interviews today?
Yeah, bro.
Damn, I'm slipping. Well, tune in, tap in, Just Talks, Rondon, Fight Back. Word.
Lately I've been moving through the motion. Feel like I'm drowning in the ocean.
What I wanted to start with this interview was we had taken like the hiatus, and there was like a bunch of stuff that like happened with me personally. And when I met up with Dice, and I was like, "Yo, bro, like I want to get back into it," and you and Foreign were the first two people that I had in my mind. I was like, I had to I want to sit down with. Like I had the questions like when I was hitting you like, "Oh, let's set this up." I already had the questions written down.
Wow.
I was like,
That's love.
I already know like what I wanna.
You know, I was talking to Sav about it recently, like even prior to me getting, he had mentioned like, yo, when Jamal was doing it, like his resetting, he had mentioned like, yo, or we had mentioned like, yo, you should talk to Ron. And I was like, really? That's so crazy. Like, everything just happens for a reason, bro. Just the way it even happened with us recently. Like, I was happy to see you. We was outside. He was like, yo, I'm gonna check you. I was like, all right, bro, please do. That ass. Like, I'm always excited to hear from you. So yeah, I'm happy to be with you. Like, with niggas. Not gonna lie, bro.
Bro, it's because one is like you as a person, the energy that you give off, it's something about you. Like, as soon as you walk in a room, you give off that
Wow.
like I'm here kind of. I don't know if you've ever realized that about yourself.
Nah.
That was gonna be something I was gonna ask you. Have you ever realized that you kind of have that like?
Nah, truth be told, it's flattering to get that the first time on camera. I've never heard that.
Really?
Never. But now I know I gotta walk like I do. For real.
So I wanted to talk about just kind of get into basic kind of questions of interviews, and so like how did you get started with music and what made you wanted to do beats instead of being a rapper yourself?
Yeah, that's a good way to ask it. I feel like music was always around me when I was a kid. You know, I'm Dominican, so I grew up around a lot of percussion. I grew up playing like the guira, if you're familiar with the it's like an aluminum instrument, and you play it with a pick to like merengue or salsa, or really whatever genre you please. But I grew up listening to a lot of merengue. So to make a parallel, the guira and what it provides for like Spanish music is what the hi-hat is to hip hop in a way. So me getting familiar with that in Spanish, it kind of made it a little easier to understand it once I got interested in it, into like hip hop and what I make now. But I really made my interest concrete in high school. My man DJ had came up to me, started showing me videos of A-rap music, making beats. And at the time, it was very refreshing to see because we were already all rapping at the lunch table, rapping on instrumentals on YouTube. After a while, I guess, it becomes like a cycle. And we like, yo, what we gonna do to change that? Luckily, DJ lived right behind the school, and we was on a basketball team, baseball team together. He was making beats all the time in his crib. Before I even made it a thing to take it home with me. Like, by the time we graduated, though, we went to college, and then I wasn't going nowhere without my laptop. You know what I mean? So it just became a thing naturally.
And what were you probably using? Probably like Pro Tools and stuff like that, or was it?
Oh, no, I actually graduated and using Pro Tools now, but I started on FL. I'm still on FL. Yeah.
That's the main one, right? That most.
Yeah, I just remember the mindset I had at 17. Like, an MPC costs 2-3 bands. I'm like, how the hell we gonna get this shit popping to sound like that without no drum machine? And I remember vividly watching videos of like Cardiac, a bunch of people that was just going stupid on FL early. Like he made like Dice Pineapples, shit like that, like classic shit. So I'm watching them videos, and I'm just thinking like, oh, if he did that there, I'm gonna keep that in mind when I'm trying to do some shit on my own. And that turns into your own workflow, your own exercise, and kept chipping away ever since. So now it's, I don't know, it's actually like refreshing now because I'm mentioning it to you now, and I never really had the chance to talk about all that.
You sit back and get a chance to like
reflect in that way. Yeah, for real, it's dope.
I wanted to ask more about like questions about you before getting into like actual talking about like, music and stuff.
Okay.
just something that you post a lot when you're not posting music is like the motivational quotes and stuff about like staying dedicated and
Yeah.
working and like what does that like mean to you, like trying to stay focused with that?
Sometimes it might sound crazy now, but sometimes that's me just reminding myself off the
Mm-hmm.
wake up, because I'm, as much as my passion is growing, so is my responsibilities as a creator. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I'm taking on a lot more projects. I'm taking on a lot more relationships. And with that comes the concern of I got to make sure I'm still making time for me and I'm still making sure my head is straight. So if I wake up some days and I'm like, this is the day to get to it, I hope y'all have a good day, it's me speaking to myself, but it's also me making sure I keep that energy and make it contagious. So yeah, I'm glad you noticed that though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
No, because it it helps with me too. Like so
wow.
that's why I started doing that. So it's right up that you say that because when I post that stuff when I first wake up in the morning, clock in for work, I'll post something in the morning. I don't do it every day, but when I do post something motivational, it's a reminder for me. So like, if I go back and watch my story, it's be like, okay, like you gotta make sure that you're continuing work. Like I
Hmm.
posted something with Nipsey the other day, um, because with content world, like you get so lost in the numbers. You
Yes.
you try not to, you always like you can get discouraged when you're just looking at numbers. So like
Yeah.
he said something about like you gotta be comfortable with not being seen, but just keep working.
Right.
And I was like, that's a good thing to keep in mind.
And his whole career is a testament to groundwork. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you gotta lay that work in, especially if you already are fortunate to know certain things going into your journey. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing to do. Like, there's nothing better than having like your own foundation. And even if it starts with something as small as like that tweet in the morning to remind yourself, like, hey, bro, ain't no pressure. And if there is, it's cool. Like, it ain't the last day. Just keep getting to it. Like, my nigga, you get it though. You get it though. Word.
Your connection and like I guess you consider him your mentor. Talking about Buda.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, how you get connected with him and the stuff that he's taught you.
I don't know where to start. You talking about just as a musician? I know Buddha for
Musician.
years, bro. I know Buddha for years. I know Buddha since I was like 12.
Really?
Yeah, bro. My parents are both immigrants. We moved into New York when I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Washington Heights at the time, prior to even being in YO. Before I even moved to YO, I lived in Harlem for like 2 years. And I went to school on 12th and 8th. Buddha was working there before I even was thinking like a musician, before I even thought about being a producer. I was running the hallways and I would see him. Obviously, I'm in the morning, I'm not calling him Buddha. I was calling him by his work name.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, hey, bro, what's up with you? And he'll pull up as himself no matter what the day was, what the objective was. And he just was a little bit more social than most people. And it was able to be noted to yourself, you know what I mean? Like, I'll pull up 10 minutes late and he'll give me my late pass. Like, hey, I'm gonna see you later. Cause there was like this small little strict rule. You had like 3 late passes, you had detention. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll be kicking it in detention with bro. Mad as shit though, cause who the hell want to be in detention? But he'll be talking to niggas and he'll put me on the shit that I didn't realize up until now, up until like last year, that I had to tell him like, yo, bro, I'm grateful that I even had you as that reference point. He was putting me on the shit before people even dropped. He put me on the Nicki before she got a deal. He put me on the Fred the Godson, rest in peace, before he even got on the freshman cover. You know, as a consumer of music, and I was heavy on the underground music already at 11, 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It just made me more excited, you know what I mean? So when the time came and I'm outside again and I'm making music and he's running into me, and he's like, oh, word, so is this what we doing now? I'm like, yeah, like, he showed nothing but love, bro. Nothing but love. So when I felt the sense of like comfort and respect, and I realized that I can get game from him in ways that I can't really just get normally anywhere, really, not even just in the space that we in, just in general. You appreciate that, you know? Think about the hundreds and thousands of people you gotta come across to sustain your movement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can count how many people really like pour into me the way Buddha do. You know what I mean? That's my dog.
He's pretty new into the industry, but he just got a placement with Styles P.
Amazing.
Rondon. To see his growth and actually getting in a placement and now developing his own relationship with like Jada and Dave and them, it's a beautiful thing because I remember being on the phone with him like, bro, just tough it out. You just gotta keep going. I know your parents complain about certain things, but you gotta trust in yourself that you can do it. And when he got his placement, he called me like, yo, you was right. I'm like, yo, you just gotta keep going and you know, have faith and just be a good person overall.
I hear about how people talk about you when they talk about like Iman or Sav, talk about like what it's like working with you, right? And talk about the way that you like encourage people and try to be open to whatever idea it is that they're trying to convey and put forward. Is that something that he helped with you, or is that you?
I want to know. I would like to think that's me. Buda definitely encouraged me to up my work ethic though, as far as how often I'm trying to do that. You know what I mean? But I feel like as far as trying things off the wall, that's always been an attempt, even indirectly when I'm just chilling, trying to make something. Whether I be with E, Sav, the homies, whoever. I'm always just trying to up the score. So, a good question though, for real, OD. I hope that answers it too.
No, it does. It does. I know you work with a lot of like local talent, but like, what was that like being able to say that you have a song for some of the people that we consider legends, like Kim, Little Kim, Styles, and
I feel like at my core, I'm from the town, and I hate to say it that way, but Yonkers made me, like as far as like a creative, as a man, certain things. So I feel the need to tap back into the circuit all the time, even if it's not just me working with Iman or Sav or Sko. You know what I mean? Like, gotta just keep putting on. I feel like as much as I love putting on for the town, in the town, sometimes it's cool to get out. Like, and I've had the chance to run into Kim, East, you know what I mean? A bunch of people that I've been grateful to just work with. But that's all from the repetition I built in my town, honestly. So I'm thankful for them niggas all the time. Like, it wouldn't be one without the other. You know what I mean? Well,
something to fight back.
yeah.
The creation of that. I know you were one of the front runners with running that. I mean, I know it's a group and it's a collective, but how did that come about, and what was the idea of that?
Shit, I feel like during quarantine we just hit like a shift as far as like what we wanted to see, what we wanted to be a part of. And after a while, you know, you don't just think of yourself after a while when you think about longevity. People are gonna be a part of the story, you know what I mean? So I thought about how are we gonna set it up that way. I don't feel like I'm the only one deserving of any type of notoriety out the town. I feel like there's plenty of people, but it's just about how we set things up. I'm already close with Jesus, you guys know that. That's my dog. But I also had the chance to build a great relationship with my man Scoop, Abu, Smutty, you know what I mean? Flam, and St. Nick. And that was all in the course of like 2, 3, 4 years. I met Abu when I was like 19. So that was the only thing that felt more close to home. So truthfully, Abu was the glue, you know what I mean? Like, we all got mad love for bro, and we all know how well-spirited he is. Like, and he's also one of those people that are gonna brainwash you to think you got the potential to be whoever you want. You add that in with 5 other niggas that think like that, there's no way we're not gonna get shit done. So we started making beats all the time. We would go to the loft, make beats all the time. And no matter who started it up, it'd be me, Flam, Nick. It would always just be fire. And having the space that we had, it was dope because we were inviting artists, other producers, people that didn't even make music that would just come in to capture the vibe. And they see it, they feel it, they're like, damn, y'all niggas don't even really gotta talk to each other. Like, y'all just feel it. Like, y'all hear it in each other. Like, that's rare, bro. Because in many other instances, you kind of have to, like, find a way to still stand out in a room full of people that are also trying to do the same thing. With us, that don't matter. As long as we making gas, like, it's gonna cut through. And I feel like our intentions have become so clear that when getting records with other people like Favi, AB, back to getting more records with East on the album, because Flam also got one on the album too, on Book of David.
Does he?
I didn't Aside the record I have, he has one of his own.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That is an automatic incentive for niggas in the town to be like, oh, this is the direction we should start going towards. And it's not a coincidence when Big Prada is executive produced by Fight Back, Gated Community is executive produced by Fight Back, Rosedale. You know what I'm saying? After a while, we're looking to become the status quo. And that's already something that we're looking to do outside the town. So having that in the town is confirmation. You know what I mean? So it's shit like that is motivating us always.
It's solid to see that because like I interviewed Jonah Cisco.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, that's my
And
dog.
his tape just actually, when we're recording this, his tape just came out.
Detox, right?
Detox
Yeah,
2.
fire.
And it's good to see because he worked with Jesus on
Yeah,
on
OD.
it.
Yeah,
And
OD.
when I interviewed him, because that was last like April when I interviewed, or March, and he was like, one of the people that I want to work with is Fight Back. He's like, he said that in the interview.
Wow.
He said that in the interview.
That's
And
fire. You know what I'm
it's good
saying,
to
though?
see that he was actually
And me,
able to
and
lead
if
the
you
show.
had I don't know if you had the chance to talk about it, but I know Jonah for years. Me and Jonah also knew each other for a long time before being creators out the city. You know what I mean? To see where he's at now, still the same nigga. Not in the most beautiful way though, bro.
No,
You
he's
know
a
what I
good
mean?
he's a good person, man.
That's my
He's
dog.
a good person.
Nah, we was just in the studio recently. As much as he does show us love, we're not the people like that he limits his love to. He got a great connection with the homies at Impact, like St. Vincent, Chino. You know what I mean? Couple great niggas, Drip Set. Niggas is fire, bro. And they the young niggas. Not to say that we old or nothing, but like we not the last ones. You know what I mean? Like there's plenty of us coming, and that shit is motivating to see. So to see somebody like Jonah, who's a couple classes under us, fucking with them, and knowing what space the town used to be in, and we get to all merge now, and there's no egos and there's no.
Yeah.
It just makes you more optimistic, bro.
I'm glad you said that because I remember like when people had first, that's in our like age range, had first started making music, it was so much competition, and it was like
Yeah, bro.
it was like nobody wanted to come together.
And there was no improvement because everybody was competing for the wrong things. Like nobody was looking to be better, like with themselves. Like everybody would get too wrapped around, like, man, this nigga Jamal, fuck that nigga, bro. I think I'm better than him. Niggas would jump out and sell themselves on some wild shit, like I think I'm better than Drake. But I feel like it's cool to feel that, but you gotta put in the work so niggas could agree with you. You know what I mean? Like you gotta prove that. It's really something to prove at the end of the day. So there's always gonna be people that are that confident in themselves, and I've met them, you know what I mean, in the town, outside. But at home, watching that, it kind of motivated me in a way because I was in a different position. I wasn't rapping. I'm the bridge. I'm one of the bridges. I get to pull up south side, cook up with the homies over there, go to the north side, cook up, and there's no pressure. And then you see them a year later cooking up together, and it's like, you set an example because I'm not pulling up with no egos. I'm not here picking sides. I'm here to make some fire shit. If that's what y'all want, we gonna do that. And if not, it's gonna show. I'm glad that's not the vibe now, because I can name you more than 5 people now that are not on that, like at all. And they proven to keep themselves in the conversation, especially in the circuit we in. Wow.
Yeah, because I just remember all that. Like, bro,
Nah, but it's true though, bro. You talking
we need to
about,
come together, bro.
yeah, you talking about think about how long some of the homies we know been making music, bro. Even before I was even thinking about making beats. 2011, 2012. You're talking about 10 years. It wasn't always how it is right now. And you gotta be grateful we weathered the storm. You know what I'm saying? This shit is fire.
So Steel Sessions. I'm literally asking you Blink because I don't really know about that. So I want to ask, like, how did that get started? What is it for the most part? And
It's a great workshop. It's an amazing workshop. It's really ran by Buda, Grizz, and Mike. That's been like they baby since like 2016, 2017. Around the time when they were building it, I had pulled up and started doing beat battles just to get my name outside. You know what I mean? Just to get my name up. And Buda had put it in my ear like, yo, we starting this new workshop. Would love for you to pull up. First time I pull up, I meet a couple people. But more importantly, I'm there hoping to get a critique on my production, on my engineering and stuff like that. Just like everyone else that's picking up a slot. Coincidentally, in my slot, Dave walks in. But I'm sitting on like 7 beats, bro, probably. You know what I mean? So I played them and he takes like 4 of them just off of like, yo, I fuck with this. And before he even said those things, I would watch him engage. You know what I mean? And really like find his space in that. So Buda showing me that was one, motivating.
Dave came through, he sat down, he vibed with various producers. He sat here for hours and was just vibing out, listening to beats, giving his opinions, you know, critiquing them, telling them what was dope for him. You know, it was like a one-on-one experience with the artist and producer. And during the midst of it, one of the producers was playing beats, and Dave picked one, and the smile that was on that guy's face was definitely priceless. So shout out to Dave, man, for making that experience for those producers. And thank God it's only at Steel Session.
It kind of made me make my mind up like, nah, I'm going full time. Like, you know what I mean? Just those moments. But all in all, I've watched that be a vessel for so many people now. Dizzy got a platform through Steel Sessions. My man Omar Grant, he working with 10 Summers with Mustard in them. You know what I'm saying? JoJo got it cracking immediately when he got the Steel Sessions. He was on Paranoia, Dave album. Had like 4 joints on the album, and they was like the core ones of the album. So a lot of people have had the chance to really leave an imprint based off the community that was built in Steel Sessions.
I saw, and I was like, it sounds like something that's official, because it's like, well, obviously it's official, but for anybody to come that has the opportunity to link with y'all, to do something big. Because I didn't know much about it, because I saw that it was looking for not only people that are making music, but somebody like me could have came and
Absolutely.
and linked in
Truth be
networked
told,
and stuff like that.
I didn't realize how valuable it was then, but after a while, it's cool, like, that 15 me's come in, but there needs to be 10 of you to come in for us to have a purpose in there. Not to sound crazy, but I met Poobs in Steel Sessions.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And Poobs is an amazing producer and engineer himself, but the same amount of respect he gets as a producer, he gets that and probably even more from an executive standpoint, because he had the chance to oversee the whole D-Block operation with Kiss and Styles and Sheik. You know what I'm saying? So, and even down to Nino and Millie's, he had the chance to really be a part of that. So I'm in there, I'm there to play beats, and Buda introduced me to him, and I didn't even know until that day that he from the South Side, bro. Yeah, bro, when he told me where he was from, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Because you gotta understand where I met him in the city. Like, deep in the city by Rector Street. Deep. You know what I'm saying? Like, super deep.
That studio that went with you before?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Super deep, bro. So I'm going in that direction every day for like 2 to 3 years just to get kicked back up by my mama hood. Like, straight up, that shit took me for a spin. But think about everything that came from that. Beloved, Dime Bag. You know what I mean? Everything that I was a part of came from that. Pools, believing in niggas, but more importantly, Steel Sessions, you know what I mean?
The way with producers like getting like paid and stuff like that. You guys do a lot as producers and engineers, y'all do a lot of the behind the scene work. People don't really take that into consideration because they see the artists, and not saying the artists don't put in a lot of work, because they do with their vocals and stuff like that, whether people try to almost like downplay the work that y'all do.
I feel like what's my thoughts on that? Like, on the fact that I feel like there are times where I feel like there are artists that are like making producers and engineers feel, for lack of a better term, disposable. But I also think about what game we're playing and how long of the game I'm intending to play. Every artist comes and pops and has like a real defining zone of momentum for like 4 to 5 years. I'm about to be I'm like a couple years shy of year 10, and think about how many artists that came and went prime time. So as much as that feeling does come, it fades. Not to sound disrespectful, but they do too sometimes. So I definitely make the observation. I just don't heed it as much as I used to. A bad play ain't it ain't a bad career. You know what I mean? It's just a bump in the road. I done had those. You know what I mean? I've had times where I've had to fight for my right as a producer. You know what I'm saying? And after a while, it gets a little easier. It doesn't get easier, it gets a little easier. People come in with a little bit more respect in the conversation once they know what you've withstood or what you persevered through. So we didn't have to go through a lot of shit, but I feel like I get the right amount of respect now. Even just Fight Back in general, we get credited, we get our publishing, we get a bunch of shit before we get clout. And I'll take that every day. You know what I mean? I'll take that every day. Straight up.
But with music, what are like the goals that you have or see for yourself, or And maybe it's not even music, but what do you see like some of the goals that you have for long term?
I definitely want to keep getting more records out, take it there for real. But my plan to me is become more beyond music. I feel like when it's all said and done for real, I'm gonna probably be playing like a way more like executive role. Cause I feel like in times to really shine as a producer, you have to be more than a producer. You know what I mean? You have to connect dots. You have to make sure people get things in order. And I feel like to a degree, I kind of help with that. Once it gets to a point where I'm not playing the young man's game and I don't got enough sturdy in me anymore, I'm gonna just be helping out. I feel that. I definitely feel that happening. And yeah, just letting it be a vessel for other things as well. Cause I got a bunch of other passions that I don't really prioritize over music, but I feel like if I get to a certain point where music helps me get to that, I wouldn't say no.
Do you see yourself having the want to do almost like a? I know you said that Fight Back has like produced and executive produced on some of the projects from the town, but do you see like you want to do like your own almost like a compilation style album produced by yourself or with the team where you bringing in different people to almost similar to with like what's his name that just did it? Metro.
And Khaled. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's ideal. Super ideal. I also feel like something like that can help me bring my worlds together. You know what I mean? All of them, from Fight Back to the town to the people I work with in the game. It could definitely be a bridge for everyone. I've thought about that for some time. To be fair, I've actually been working on it. I just haven't told a lot of people yet, honestly. And when it makes sense, people will know, you know? But yeah, it's always been a goal. Even just to get like regular projects out so people can get familiar with the sound. You know what I mean? Just to know like so you can get an idea of what's gonna come, maybe. You know what I mean?
What I like is that very to yourself with what you got going on.
Yeah.
Until it's time to you're like the definition of that, like staying low key until
it's time.
It's time.
Yeah. There's something about not having to be everywhere. I used to feel the need to be everywhere. You know what I mean? I used to feel like, damn, I can't miss on this, I can't miss on that. Now it's like I don't even care until it makes sense. Like unless it's like, let's set something up where we both walk away with the right energy, the right vibe, and something for us to both catapult off. You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna make all the effort necessary. But if it's not that or more, I'm not just donating my time and my energy anymore. But that's like an expense that you had to like charge to the game at one point. I had to really give out my time, sacrifice time. Now it's to the point where I kind of think I have a choice, even though I still devote a lot of time voluntarily. It's still way more strategized. It's way more thought out. I'm not just jumping when a nigga tell me jump. You know what I'm saying?
So the other question that was similar, but it's a little bit different. As humans, especially in our country, we do a lot of stuff for money, right? But
Yeah.
if money wasn't a thing, like if you didn't have to wake up and worry about making money, what is something that you would want to be doing?
Wow. I don't know. Truthfully, bro, outside of my passion for music, bro, I love cooking, my nigga.
Really?
I love cooking. I'd feed the whole village if I had to, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That's just how I've always thought. Even now, I'll get vibes when I'm with my close friends, and I'll be in the crib, and anybody be ready to just order some shit. But I'm like, nah, we kicking it. We finna roll up. I'm about to just chef it and make some shit. Yeah, word, and feed the whole crib. Niggas be like, yo, bro, you really got like the thumb of a grandma in the kitchen. And that's like, that's a compliment for real, because my grandma throw down, you heard? Like,
Yeah. Same.
so I pull up, I grew a passion for that. And then it's not easy to stay like this, you know what I'm saying? Word. I feel like that might be something. Like, I'll probably be like frontlining on the hunt for the food, shit like that. If you talking about we ain't had nothing but ourselves and we had to figure out how we was gonna eat and shit like that, I'll probably be on that type of time. Word.
That's going to be one of the questions that
was a hard question, though.
That's one of
That
the
was
questions I'm
hard.
gonna keep asking everybody.
Yeah.
Cause like I want to know what everybody like.
That's a real personality question.
Yeah, like what do you want to be doing?
Yeah, it's hard. What kind of empire do you see yourself building through your podcast?
So that's a good question because I've never answered this on camera. This is something I've been talking about. So first and foremost, like I want to help like people. So I was just texting somebody about this. I want to help people, especially from the state in general, because I know people from Harlem. I know people Brooklyn, Bronx. So I want to like be able to help give them that voice, being able to talk because they don't have. Everybody can't go. Is not gonna have the opportunity to go down to Hot 97, 105. Even some of the smaller platforms that are a little bit larger than this one, they're not gonna have that opportunity to connect with them, or at least not yet. I want everybody to succeed, so I'm just saying not yet. So I want to at first do that, be that person that gives them that voice from. Not saying that we at the very, very bottom, but we still where we are. To give them the chance to be like, yo, I was talking about this 5, 10, 20 years ago.
Planting the seeds.
And you can see like, yo, this is where my mind was at, and I'm still here, and I accomplished what I was talking about.
Right.
Like example, like I was saying with Jonah, he was talking about wanting to work with y'all. That was not even a year later, and he got a song with Jesus. So he can look back on that and be like,
right.
I spoke that into existence. Ironically, I've never said this on camera either, as a person that does this kind of content, I'm also, I'm not the most like overly social person. Like if I'm out,
now you're social, you're not loud.
You're not loud. This is true.
Yeah, you're a social dude though for sure.
I want to help people with that and help people like get like that confidence in doing something. Maybe not exactly this, but on some sort of like public platform. So
yeah. I feel like the more you'll build exposure for the platform, you're gonna build exposure for yourself, even if it's indirect. So people getting a chance to feel you and exchange energy with you, they're gonna feel the motivation to break out their shell just because they know how like timid you are. You know what I'm saying? So for you to still be prominent and see yourself in the space of these things down the line, there's no way it's not gonna make somebody be like, damn, I gotta get off my ass, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. Straight up. So yeah, I'm excited about that for y'all. OD, bro. Just because I know where the intention's been. I know the quality of people you've been investing in with it. And I can only see that growing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm excited.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And thank you again for having me.
Of course, bro. Of course.
That ass. This shit is fire.
But no, bro, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you wanting to actually taking the time to sit down with us and do it, bro.
Hey, bro, you my dog for real. Like, I'm going to talk to you outside of this anyway. So I'm just happy I could be a part of this shit for you, more importantly, just because, like I said, I know where you headed with this shit, bro. And you're going to be in that conversation. No doubt about it in my mind, you know? So I'm the same way you planting seeds and you making sure you showing the respect. There's gonna be that day where somebody else got to interview you. One call, and y'all could just put this on the edit somehow if y'all can. It's gonna be hilarious. Not hilarious, but it's gonna be fire. Hold on. Hey, you hear me? So I just finished doing an interview with Jamal, right?
Yo. What's up, bro?
And he was mentioning how he was kind of agreeing with me, but he was like, yeah, like people are kind of in a way of like trying to grow and build with Fight Back. And he mentioned how you got a record with Jonah.
We mentioned how I got a record with who?
With Jonah, with Cisco.
Oh, facts. Yeah.
And like him not knowing like how aligned this is between all of us, especially like me, you, and Jonah. It's such a beautiful full circle moment. So I'm gonna just put your big ass head on the screen, you heard? Word. Big Chuchi, big Jesus, big Fight Back, you heard? Dice, you know. But no, it's necessary, bro. I had to do it. Interview him too, man. I feel like the same way somebody might feel about you as far as like the reservation and like that's gonna be OD. Especially knowing how he is. He's like Like if my choice of lifestyle was a person, it's Jesus, bro. Like, cause I could not be like this. You know what I mean? It's easy to just be a sociable nigga. Not to sound crazy, at least for me. Like, but the choice of wanting to be in the cut, stay low, and just focus on what matters, and having people to feed off of that vibration with, that's super Jesus, bro. Y'all conversation will go too crazy. Too crazy. Because, like, people can only imagine what be running through his head. Straight up, bro. Like, I know there's been 100 times where I've been in sessions, and I pull up, and I got to be the one to, like, talk to people, and he'll just pull up. He won't even talk. He won't even kick it with niggas, not to sound disrespectful, but that's just how he is. Like, he'll pull up, put his headphones on for an hour, but he'll pull up and play niggas, like, 2 beats, and he won't have to talk to nobody about nothing because they're too busy saying, yo, this shit fire. Yo, this shit fire. Straight up, so I'm pretty sure if you were to dive in with him on his thought process throughout all this shit, because he's also growing a good resume right now.
No,
you know
he
what I mean?
definitely is.
I feel like, dramatic to say, and y'all can hold me to it because this is on camera, right? Mm-hmm. He the one with the torch right now. Like, straight up. And y'all can argue that however y'all want it, bro. Jesus. Word. Dead ass, bro. And on that note, I'm saying, I'm gonna take this off.
Yeah.
And start rolling a little hot tape. You know what I'm saying? Word.
Damn.
My niggas, that went crazy, bro.
Lately I've been moving through the motion. Feel like I'm drowning in the ocean.